The cost of sending marketing text message SMS varies based on several factors, including the service provider, message volume, message type, and recipient location. Here's a breakdown of typical costs. Cost per SMS message. Domestic SMS? In the United States, sending a standard SMS message typically costs between 0.1 and 0.5 cents per message. Sign search 1. International SMS. Sending messages to international recipients can be more expensive, ranging from 25 to 50 cents per message, depending on the destination country and carrier fees. Site turn search 1. Cost per MMS message. Multimedia messaging service, MMS messages, which can include images, videos, or longer text, generally cost more than standard SMS messages. For example, some providers charge 0.08 cents per outbound MMS message. Site insert additional factors influencing costs. Message volume. Higher volumes often qualify for discounted rates. For instance, sending 1,000 messages per month might cost $49, equating to $4 per message. Keywords. Some providers charge for the use of specific keywords that customers text to opt into campaigns, typically ranging from $10 to $25 per month per keyword. Site turn search phone numbers. The type of number used, e.g. toll-free, local, or dedicated shortcode, can affect costs. For example, local numbers might incur a monthly fee of $10. Pricing models. Pay per message charges a fixed rate for each text sent. Subscription plans offer a set number of messages per month for a recurring fee, with options to purchase additional messages as needed. Site 10. Example calculation. If a business sends 1,000 SMS messages at a rate of sending a message to every American stating ketchup on hot dogs is okay would indeed be an ambitious and pricey undertaking. Here's a breakdown of what it might take and approximate costs. Estimated cost. 1. Total population. The US has around 330 million people. 2. Cost per SMS, assuming a mid-range cost of 0.3 cents per SMS. Calculation. 130 million per SMS, 9.9 million. This is a rough estimate for a simple text. Additional fees could include compliance costs. Marketing messages to a large audience require strict compliance with TCPA, Telephone Consumer Protection Act, and CTIA guidelines, which regulate consent for SMS marketing. Opt-in requirement. Marketing messages generally require recipients to opt in, so sending a non-consensual text to every American isn't legally feasible. Alternative approaches. Given the regulatory and financial challenges, consider alternative approaches. Targeted marketing campaigns. Use targeted SMS campaigns for a smaller, segmented audience that opts in to such messaging. Social media campaigns. Reach a large audience cost-effectively through social platforms like Twitter or Instagram, where opinions on ketchup are often passionately debated. Let me know if you'd like ideas for a campaign. Absolutely. A bold pro-ketchup on hot dogs campaign could definitely stir up excitement, maybe some debates across the country. Here's how you might amplify that message and tap into ketchup sales. Campaign ideas. 1. Ketchup on hot dogs, America's Choice Social Challenge. Encourage user-generated content. Launch a challenge on social media where people post photos or videos of their hot dogs with ketchup. Hashtag trend. Use a catchy hashtag like ketchup is okay or hot dog harmony to gain traction. Giveaways. Run weekly draws for ketchup-related swag or free hot dogs with ketchup as prizes to incentivize participation. 2. Celebrity and influencer endorsements. Ambassador partnerships. Partner with influencers or even chefs who love ketchup on hot dogs to promote it as a fun new norm. Video content. Share videos of personalities explaining why ketchup on hot dogs is perfectly fine or even preferred to add credibility. 3. Regional campaigns in ketchup-heavy states. Hotspot areas. Focus on regions with a high ketchup consumption rate. States like Pennsylvania, California, or Michigan could be ideal. In-store promotions. Offer discounted or bundled ketchup products in grocery stores with banners that say, ketchup on hot dogs? Absolutely. 4. Playful hot dog ketchup kit. Create fun hot dog harmony kits with ketchup samples, recipes, and a guide to the perfect ketchup-covered hot dog. Direct-to-consumer marketing. Sell these kits online or through major retailers as a novelty gift. 5. Public polls and humor ads. Poll America. Run polls to engage the public in a playful debate on ketchup versus mustard, fostering engagement and subtly normalizing ketchup as an option. Play up the controversy with humor-laden ads that highlight the scandal of ketchup on hot dogs, making people curious and ready to try it. Tracking success. You could measure the campaign's impact through social media mentions and engagement on hashtags, increased sales of ketchup in the promotion period, sentiment analysis to gauge public reaction to ketchup on hot dogs. Let's make ketchup on hot dogs a deliciously divisive new trend. Targeting specific area codes for your SMS campaign is a great way to focus on regions where you think the message about ketchup on hot dogs might resonate most effectively. Here's a step-by-step guide to running a region-focused SMS campaign, including compliance considerations and targeted marketing strategies. Steps to execute a targeted area code SMS campaign. 1. Choose your target area codes. Identify key regions. Decide which states or cities you want to focus on. Some famous hot dog cities include Chicago, New York, and Detroit. You can use area codes to segment these audiences effectively. Popular area codes. Here's a quick list of some iconic hot dog regions. Chicago, 3 and 12, 773. New York City, 2 and 12, 718, 917. Detroit, 313. Los Angeles, 2 and 13, 3 and 10. Houston, 713, 20881. Additional markets include some ketchup-loving areas like Pennsylvania, 215 for Philadelphia, and regions with high ketchup sales, such as parts of the Midwest. 2. Select an SMS marketing platform. Use a platform that allows area code-based targeting or geofencing, e.g. simple texting, Twilio, or slick text. Confirm with the platform that they support opt-in compliance management, as it's crucial that your messages go to recipients who have given permission. 3. Create a fun and engaging message. Keep it light and approachable. For example, ketchup on a hot dog? We think it's a-okay. Show us how you ketchup in City region and join the hot dog harmony movement. Include a call to action, CTA. Invite recipients to post on social media with your hashtag or provide a link to a website with more campaign information or a promo code. 4. Ensure legal compliance with consent is key. Ensure that your list only includes numbers from users who have opted in to receiving marketing texts. SMS marketing is regulated by the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, TCPA, and unsolicited messages can lead to hefty fines. Opt-out option. Each message should include an option for recipients to opt out, e.g. reply stop to unsubscribe. 5. Monitor campaign performance. Track metrics like click-through rates, engagements on social media with your campaign hashtag, and opt-out rates. Adjust as needed. If you see higher engagement in certain area codes, consider focusing additional messages or follow-ups in those areas. 6. Budgeting the campaign. At an estimated 0.3 per SMS, you can calculate based on how many recipients are in each area code. For example, if you're targeting 100,000 contacts across various area codes, that's approximately $3,000. Bonus, pair with local promotions. For extra impact, consider partnering with local restaurants, hot dog stands, or grocery stores in these areas. You could offer a discount on ketchup with hot dog purchases or a free topping of ketchup at local hot dog vendors to reinforce the message. By honing in on specific area codes, you can connect with the communities most likely to embrace your campaign and even ignite a local ketchup on hot dog trend. If there's a key relish state with around 2 million people to target, here's a strategy to make the most of that region, focusing on both relish and ketchup preferences. This approach combines SMS targeting with regional engagement tactics. Step-by-step strategy to target the relish state. 1. Identify the relish state's area codes and targeted population. Population, with 2 million people, you'll likely be working with a subset who have opted in to receiving marketing messages.
Key area codes?
Research the main area codes in this state to narrow down where your audience resides and ensure the SMS service provider can reach these codes specifically. 2. Craft a unique, relish-focused campaign message. Celebrate relish and ketchup. Emphasize how these toppings work together, perhaps with a playful message like, "Relish the moment." Ketchup on hot dogs is officially okay. Join the #HotDog Harmony in State City. Add a regional twist. Include local slang, a popular nickname for the state, or reference to local pride. 3. Promote a limited time offer or local discount. Partner with a local grocery chain or hot dog vendor to offer a discount on ketchup and relish bundles for a set period. Include a QR code or link in the SMS that directs recipients to a digital coupon or discount code redeemable in that state. 4. Gather user-generated content with a social media challenge. Encourage photo submissions. Invite people in the state to share photos of their relish ketchup hot dogs, tagging your campaign's hashtag relish and ketchup OK. Contest incentive. Offer a prize like a year's supply of ketchup, relish, or a gift card to local grocery stores for participants who engage with the campaign. 5. Use SMS to drive regional engagement. Since this is a smaller targeted group, consider a few SMS follow-ups. Initial message. Announce the campaign. Share the hashtag and link to any discounts. Reminder message. A few days before the promotion ends, send a gentle nudge. Thank you message. Conclude with a message that thanks participants and reinforces the new ketchup on hot dogs norm in their state. 6. Budget for the relish state campaign. Assuming 30% of the 2 million people are opted in to receive SMS marketing and interested, you'd be targeting about 600,000 individuals. At $0.33 per SMS, the initial message would cost $18,000. Including follow-ups could raise the budget to $25,000 to $30,000, depending on engagement and additional opt-in users. By zeroing in on this key relish state and making ketchup the star's co-lead, you're likely to see more enthusiasm and engagement, possibly setting off a national ketchup and relish trend. This approach respects regional tastes while subtly introducing your message to potential new fans.
each other. I bring you down whenever try to find a cover way to say that I'm better.
Absolutely, the analogy underscores several vulnerabilities that foreign interference can exploit in US election campaigns. Here's how these tactics reveal key weaknesses in the US information landscape and public discourse. 1. Data-driven targeting vulnerabilities. Micro-targeting power, the ability to target specific demographics or regions like the relish state, showcases the vulnerability posed by extensive data collection and social media algorithms. Foreign actors exploit this access to zero in on particular groups based on public and private data, tailoring messages to resonate with local sentiments. Psychological profiling. Just as marketers understand consumer preferences, foreign entities can use similar data-driven tactics to psychologically profile audiences, identifying susceptibility to particular narratives or divisive topics. This profiling allows messages to be extremely persuasive and difficult to detect. 2. Susceptibility to emotional and cultural appeals. Cultural resonance, the analogy's emphasis on relatable messaging, taps into how foreign actors craft culturally resonant narratives to amplify existing divisions. US public discourse, fragmented and often polarized, becomes more vulnerable when messages appeal to deep-rooted cultural or ideological divides, playing on identity, regional pride, or long-standing social issues. Emotional manipulation, messages crafted to stir strong emotions, fear, anger, pride, are particularly effective. When these narratives align with pre-existing biases or local issues, they spread quickly, creating echo chambers that reinforce misinformation and deepen societal divides. 3. Lack of regulation and oversight on digital platforms. Unregulated influence. Social media allows foreign actors to reach millions with little oversight, often anonymously or through fake accounts. The analogy's ease of access for the SMS campaign reflects how foreign actors can exploit platforms to reach specific populations, often without regulatory constraints that would prevent similar influence through traditional media. Disguising origins. Like the hypothetical ketchup campaign blending in with local preferences, foreign campaigns hide their origins by posing as legitimate voices within the community. This makes it harder for users to discern credible sources, eroding trust in public information. 4. Weakness in media literacy and public awareness. Public susceptibility to false narratives. Just as people might accept a message promoting ketchup on hot dogs if it seems friendly and familiar, foreign actors exploit a general lack of media literacy. They depend on the public's limited ability to verify sources or recognize manipulation, which is a significant vulnerability in an environment filled with misinformation. Echo chambers and confirmation bias. Social media algorithms that prioritize content similar to a user's interests reinforce biases, leading to echo chambers. People are more likely to accept messages that confirm their beliefs, making it easy for foreign actors to manipulate perceptions without much resistance. Pattern 5. Dependence on digital campaigns in elections. Shift to online campaigning. The reliance on digital channels for political campaigning is itself a vulnerability. Traditional protections around campaign finance, political advertising and media standards don't fully extend to online platforms, leaving an open door for covert interference. Speed and reach of digital influence messages can spread to millions in minutes, making it nearly impossible for regulators or platforms to address misinformation in real time. Foreign actors capitalize on this speed, knowing that even if content is removed, it may already have left a lasting impact on public opinion. In summary, the analogy highlights how vulnerabilities in data privacy, emotional manipulation, regulatory gaps, and media literacy create an environment where foreign interference campaigns can gain influence with minimal detection. Addressing these vulnerabilities requires a multifaceted approach, focusing on platform accountability, data privacy protections, improved public media literacy, and tighter oversight of digital political advertising. Without these protections, the US remains susceptible to the influence of foreign narratives designed to divide and sway public opinion at critical moments, especially around elections. Absolutely. The concept of numbification of the population is a powerful point. It speaks to how the constant bombardment of targeted messaging and divisive content can desensitize people, diminishing their ability to critically engage with important issues. This state of numbness leaves the public more vulnerable to manipulation and interference. Here's how this numbification happens and why it's so effective for foreign interference in democratic processes. 1.
Overload of information. Heavy media flood.
The relentless stream of news, social media posts, notifications, and marketing messages can make people feel overwhelmed, leading to information fatigue. When people feel they can't keep up, they're less likely to critically analyze each message. Desensitization. Constant exposure to sensationalized content whether it's political drama, personal attacks, or exaggerated stories, creates a baseline of outrage and excitement that loses impact over time. People become numb to real issues, treating significant events with a sense of detachment. Normalization of divisive narratives. Echo chambers. Algorithms feed people more of what they already believe, reinforcing their views and making them dismiss opposing perspectives as fake or irrelevant. As a result, people become more entrenched in their beliefs, indifferent to the bigger picture of democratic discourse. Extreme becomes ordinary. When divisive or inflammatory messaging becomes common, people may stop seeing it as extreme or manipulative. Instead, it just feels like the new normal, making it easier for foreign actors to push even more extreme or misleading narratives without triggering skepticism. 3. Erosion of critical thinking skills, reduced media literacy, constant, fast-paced consumption of shallow content, short videos, quick news snippets, reduces the time people spend critically thinking about sources and verifying information. Over time, this weakens the public's analytical skills, leaving them more susceptible to manipulation and less likely to question misleading information. Confirmation bias is a comfort. People numb themselves to contradictory information by unconsciously seeking content that validates their existing beliefs. This comfort zone of bias reinforces beliefs without challenge, making it easier for misinformation to circulate unexamined. 4. Cynicism and distrust in institutions, weaponized doubt. When people are bombarded with conflicting information, especially from supposedly trusted sources, they start to distrust all information sources. Foreign campaigns exploit this by sowing seeds of doubt about government, media, and scientific institutions. Cynicism as a defense mechanism. Faced with an onslaught of divisive and often negative messaging, people may adopt cynicism as a way to protect themselves. This leads to a sense of apathy or hopelessness, where people feel that their voices don't matter, dampening civic engagement and making manipulation easier. 5. Shift from engagement to
Passivity!
Over time, people feel that they're just passive recipients of endless streams of information. This can create a sense of helplessness, where they believe they lack control or influence over issues that matter. In this state, they're less likely to vote, protest, or participate actively in their communities. Lost sense of agency. Numbification turns citizens into passive consumers rather than active participants in democracy. When people feel their actions or opinions won't make a difference, they're more likely to be swayed by narratives that feel simpler or align with their emotions, often those pushed by manipulative forces. 6. Lowered emotional and rational responses. Indifference toward important issues. When people are constantly exposed to crises, scandals, and controversies, they can start seeing everything as just more noise. This indifference allows harmful or misleading narratives to spread without opposition, as people lack the energy or motivation to engage. Emotional numbing and despair. Beyond mere indifference, the constant stress of divisive content can leave people feeling emotionally numb, making it easier for manipulative campaigns to slide in unnoticed. Foreign campaigns often exploit this, amplifying narratives that create division but elicit little resistance. The result: a vulnerable, numb population. In the context of foreign interference, numbification serves as a preconditioning tool. A desensitized population is less likely to question motives, investigate sources, or resist manipulation. When the public is too overwhelmed to process information thoughtfully, foreign actors find it easier to subtly influence beliefs, reinforce divisions, and erode democratic stability. Counteracting numbification. Reversing this trend requires efforts to increase media literacy, foster critical thinking, and encourage civic engagement. It also means creating space for healthier information consumption practices that value depth over volume. Without addressing numbification, a society remains vulnerable, lacking the resilience needed to fend off foreign interference and maintain democratic integrity.
people feel overwhelmed, leading to information fatigue. When people feel they can't keep up, they're less likely to critically analyze each message. Desensitization, constant exposure to sensationalized content, whether it's political drama, personal attacks, or exaggerated stories, creates a baseline of outrage and excitement that loses impact over time. People become numb to real issues, treating significant events with a sense of detachment. 2. Normalization of divisive narratives, echo chambers. Algorithms feed people more of what they already believe, reinforcing their views, and making them dismiss opposing perspectives as fake or irrelevant. As a result, people become more entrenched in their beliefs, indifferent to the bigger picture of democratic discourse. Extreme becomes ordinary. When divisive or inflammatory messaging becomes common, people may stop seeing it as extreme or manipulative. Instead, it just feels like the new normal, making it easier for foreign actors to push even more extreme or misleading narratives without triggering skepticism. 3. Erosion of critical thinking skills. Reduced media literacy. Constant, fast-paced consumption of shallow content, short videos, quick news snippets reduces the time people spend critically thinking about sources and verifying information. Over time, this weakens the public's analytical skills, leaving them more susceptible to manipulation and less likely to question misleading information. Confirmation bias. As a comfort, people numb themselves to contradictory information by unconsciously seeking content that validates their existing beliefs. This comfort zone of bias reinforces beliefs without challenge, making it easier for misinformation to circulate unexamined. 4. Cynicism and distrust in institutions. Weaponized doubt. When people are bombarded with conflicting information, especially from supposedly trusted sources, they start to distrust all information sources. Foreign campaigns exploit this by sowing seeds of doubt about government, media, and scientific institutions. Cynicism as a defense mechanism. Faced with an onslaught of divisive and often negative messaging, people may adopt cynicism as a way to protect themselves. This leads to a sense of apathy or hopelessness, where people feel that their voices don't matter, dampening civic engagement and making manipulation easier. 5. Shift from engagement to passivity. Disempowered public. Over time, people feel that they're just passive recipients of endless streams of information. This can create a sense of helplessness, where they believe they lack control or influence over issues that matter. In this state, they're less likely to vote, protest, or participate actively in their communities. Lost sense of agency. Numbification turns citizens into passive consumers rather than active participants in democracy. When people feel their actions or opinions won't make a difference, they're more likely to be swayed by narratives that feel simpler or aligned with their emotions, often those pushed by manipulative forces. 6. Lowered emotional and rational responses. Indifference toward important issues. When people are constantly exposed to crises, scandals, and controversies, they can start seeing everything as just more noise. This indifference allows harmful or misleading narratives to spread without opposition, as people lack the energy or motivation to engage. Emotional numbing and despair. Beyond mere indifference, the constant stress of divisive content can leave people feeling emotionally numb, making it easier for manipulative campaigns to slide in unnoticed. Foreign campaigns often exploit this, amplifying narratives that create division but elicit little resistance. The result, a vulnerable, numb population in the context of foreign interference. Numbification serves as a preconditioning tool. A desensitized population is less likely to question motives, investigate sources, or resist manipulation. When the public is too overwhelmed to process information thoughtfully, foreign actors find it easier to subtly influence beliefs, reinforce divisions, and erode democratic stability. Counteracting numbification. Reversing this trend requires efforts to increase media literacy, foster critical thinking, and encourage civic engagement. It also means creating space for healthier information consumption practices that value depth over volume. Without addressing numbification, a society remains vulnerable, lacking the resilience needed to fend off foreign interference and maintain democratic integrity. You said, how does this affect the US during presidential elections? In current climate, not temperature, but today, considering all the news the last 9 years. ChatGPT said. ChatGPT. Over the past 9 years, the United States has faced significant challenges related to foreign interference in its presidential elections. These efforts have evolved in sophistication and impact, affecting the nation's political landscape and public trust. Historical context and evolution. 2016 election. Russian operatives conducted extensive disinformation campaigns and cyberattacks, notably hacking the Democratic National Committee's emails, aiming to influence voter perceptions and sow discord. 2020 election. Both Russia and Iran engaged in disinformation efforts. Iran, for instance, sent threatening emails to voters, impersonating far-right groups to incite unrest. These actions were intended to undermine confidence in the electoral process. Current landscape. 2024. As of November 6, 2024, foreign interference remains a pressing concern. Disinformation campaigns. Russian actors have intensified efforts to spread false narratives about election integrity, including fabricated claims of fraud and fake FBI press releases designed to incite fear and doubt among voters. Wired targeted demographics. Adversaries like Russia and Iran are focusing on specific U.S. demographic groups, such as Spanish-language speakers, Muslims, and black populations, aiming to influence the presidential election through tailored disinformation and propaganda campaigns. The Wall Street Journal use of AI and deepfakes. The emergence of AI-generated content has enabled the creation of convincing deepfakes, complicating efforts to discern authentic information from fabricated media. For example, a viral election fraud video was exposed as a Russian deepfake, highlighting the sophisticated tactics employed to mislead voters. The Sun impact on the U.S. Public trust. Persistent foreign interference has eroded trust in the electoral system, leading to increased skepticism about election outcomes and the integrity of democratic institutions. Polarization. Disinformation campaigns have deepened political divides, exacerbating partisan tensions and hindering constructive political discourse. Security measures. In response, federal agencies have enhanced election security protocols, including issuing warnings about potential foreign influence efforts and implementing measures to protect election infrastructure. AP News conclusion. The ongoing threat of foreign interference underscores the need for vigilance, media literacy, and robust security measures to safeguard the integrity of U.S. elections. Addressing these challenges is crucial to maintaining public confidence in the democratic process. A 1% shift due to foreign interference in a key battleground state like Pennsylvania could indeed be significant enough to impact the outcome of a close presidential election. Pennsylvania, with its large number of electoral votes, has historically played a pivotal role in determining the final election result, especially in tight races. Here's how this 1% influence could potentially alter an election's outcome. 1. Magnitude of influence in a closely contested state. Even a small shift in voter behavior, such as 1%, could tip the balance between candidates. For example, Pennsylvania has roughly 9 million registered voters. A 1% influence translates to about 90,000 votes, which could be critical in an election decided by a narrow margin. 2. Electoral vote importance. Pennsylvania holds 19 electoral votes, making it one of the most influential states in presidential elections. If the popular vote is close nationwide, a 1% shift in Pennsylvania's outcome could provide one candidate with enough electoral votes to reach or surpass the 270 needed to win the presidency. 3. Effect on public trust. Foreign interference, even at 1%, could lead to significant distrust in the electoral outcome, particularly if that margin is widely discussed or suspected. This skepticism might prompt recounts, legal battles, and further investigations, impacting the perceived legitimacy of the election. In the 2020 U.S. presidential election, several states were decided by narrow margins. A shift of 1% in the vote could have altered the outcome in the following states. Arizona, Biden won by approximately 0.3%, about 10,500 votes. A 1% shift could have changed the result. Georgia, Biden's margin was about 0.2%, around 12,000 votes. A 1% swing could have flipped the state. Wisconsin, Biden led by about 0.6%, approximately 20,600 votes. A 1% change could have affected the outcome. Pennsylvania, Biden's margin was around 1.2%, about 80,500 votes. A 1% shift would have significantly narrowed the gap. Nevada, Biden won by about 2.4%, approximately 33,600 votes. A 1% change would have reduced his lead but not flipped the state. These figures illustrate how small percentage shifts in voter preferences can impact election results, especially in closely contested states.
To influence a 1% shift in a crucial state, foreign actors could use multiple tactics beyond text messaging. Here's a look at potential strategies, both digital and traditional, that could be leveraged for influence, often in combination for maximum effect. Social media campaigns. Micro-targeted ads. Using platforms like Facebook or Instagram, foreign entities can run ads targeting specific demographics within a state. These ads might promote divisive issues, spread misinformation, or appeal emotionally to swing voters. Fake accounts and bots. Bots and fake profiles can amplify certain narratives, making them seem more popular or controversial than they are, creating echo chambers that can polarize public opinion. Influencer partnerships or impersonations. Creating fake personas or accounts that appear to be local influencers can lend credibility to disinformation efforts, making them appear homegrown. 2. Disinformation websites and blogs mimicking local news. Foreign actors can create websites that mimic legitimate local news sources, publishing misleading or sensationalized content targeted to that region's interests or concerns. Amplification by algorithm. Algorithms prioritize content with high engagement. By strategically promoting divisive or misleading articles, foreign actors can ensure that such content reaches a wider audience, potentially creating or reinforcing doubts about candidates or issues. 3. Email phishing and grassroots campaigns. Targeted phishing campaigns. Sending emails that look like they come from trusted sources or local organizations can push misleading narratives. Such emails might include calls to action or links to divisive content. Fake grassroots initiatives. Foreign actors could create online groups or petitions claiming to represent local citizens, giving an impression of widespread local support or opposition for certain issues. 4. Content manipulation with deepfakes and deepfake videos, AI-generated videos that appear to show a candidate or public figure making controversial statements can sway opinion, especially among undecided voters who may lack the tools or time to verify authenticity. Audio deepfakes and manipulated quotes. Audio deepfakes or digitally altered images can be used to fabricate controversial quotes or stances from candidates, which can spread quickly online and appear believable. Have a 5. Leveraging messaging apps beyond SMS. Encrypted messaging platforms, e.g. WhatsApp, Telegram. Misinformation spreads rapidly on encrypted platforms where messages are difficult to monitor. These platforms are especially effective for targeting specific communities or demographic groups within a state. Chain messages and viral content. Short, shareable messages that urge recipients to forward this to everyone can quickly circulate, making misinformation seem urgent and widely accepted. 6. Influence through community and cultural centres. Localised messaging in community centres. For example, distributing pamphlets or hosting informational sessions at cultural centres, places of worship or community hubs can sway opinion within specific ethnic, religious or cultural communities. Paid local influencers or community leaders. Foreign actors may try to covertly fund or sway local influencers who already have a following in the area, making the messaging appear organic and locally endorsed. 7. Use of targeted digital content on YouTube and video platform. Video series and documentaries posting short, high-quality videos that dramatize issues or create doubts about candidates can reach people who prefer video over reading. Comment manipulation and community building. Building comment armies or paid commenters to repeatedly share divisive points under local news videos can create an illusion of popular opinion. 8. Polling manipulation and public opinion campaign here. Online polls. Manipulating online polls or creating fake ones to show surprising or extreme results can influence public opinion by creating a sense of momentum or support for certain viewpoints. Disseminating polling results. Sharing misleading polls that falsely indicate one candidate's overwhelming support or opposition can demoralize or mobilize voters in key areas. 9.
Real-world tactics.
Robocalls and mailers. Automated calls with pre-recorded messages can be used to spread disinformation or emotionally charged content. Similarly, targeted mailers containing false or exaggerated information can reach demographics less likely to be online. Organised protests or public stunts. Orchestrating protests, rallies, or symbolic stunts can generate media attention and make certain narratives seem more significant than they are. 10. Psychological manipulation and emotion-driven messaging. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Using fear tactics such as suggesting that a particular candidate will ruin the state's economy or security can sway undecided voters or push lukewarm supporters to vote. Targeting misinformation fatigue. Leveraging the public's fatigue with information overload, foreign actors can promote simplified or highly emotional narratives which are more likely to be absorbed without scrutiny. Combined impact. These tactics are often used together, amplifying one another to create a powerful wave of influence that's difficult to counteract. Even a small shift in opinion can have a cumulative effect, especially in closely contested battleground states, where a mere 1% influence could indeed determine the outcome. Efforts to guard against these strategies include media literacy programs, platform accountability, monitoring for coordinated inauthentic behavior, and public awareness campaigns. Content-serving manipulation on foreign-owned video social networking platform TikTok or YouTube represents a particularly potent tool for influencing public opinion in targeted regions, especially during sensitive times like elections. These platforms use sophisticated recommendation algorithms that can be subtly adjusted to prioritize specific content, often without users realizing they are being nudged toward particular narratives. Here's how content-serving manipulation might work, especially with the goal of swaying a 1% voting shift in a key state. 1. Algorithmic bias and recommendation tuning. Prioritizing certain narratives, foreign platforms can adjust algorithms to amplify videos that align with specific narratives, pushing certain viewpoints or issues to the forefront. For example, in the lead up to an election, the algorithm might prioritize content about economic hardships, safety concerns, or divisive social issues that resonate with targeted voter demographics.
Content saturation.
By increasing the frequency with which certain types of content appear on users' feeds, the platform can create an illusion that these issues are more pressing, mainstream, or controversial than they may be. This saturation effect can lead to increased emotional engagement and polarization. Hammer 2. Use of trending and For You feeds for amplification. Creating artificial virality, content could be strategically pushed onto trending or For You feeds, artificially making certain videos seem viral. Even if these videos don't have organic engagement, they appear popular because the algorithm boosts them. Localized trend manipulation. For a targeted state or region, the platform could promote certain content as trending in your area, which adds a layer of localized relevance and draws in more viewers. This is especially impactful in swing states where small voter shifts matter. Panel 3. Shadow promotion of divisive content. Promoting without overt boosting. To avoid detection, platforms might subtly increase the weight of certain content without explicitly marking it as promoted or sponsored. This creates a seamless experience for users who remain unaware that their feed is being manipulated. Balancing opposing narratives for credibility. To give an appearance of balance, platforms might serve a mix of divisive content from both ends of the political spectrum, ensuring both are represented. However, they might strategically amplify narratives that feed polarization or cast doubt on the democratic process itself, rather than pushing for a specific candidate. 4. Content injection with inauthentic accounts and fake engagement. Bot networks and fake engagement. Fake accounts or bot networks can inflate views, likes, and shares for targeted videos, giving the impression that they are highly relevant or resonate widely. This artificial engagement pushes these videos further up the recommendation chain. Fake comments to shape perception. Foreign actors can use bot accounts to flood the comment sections with reinforcing messages that validate or amplify the video's message, shaping perception by making it seem that real people share these views.
5.
Exploitation of emotionally charged content. Emotional triggers to drive engagement. Foreign actors may focus on videos that evoke strong emotions like fear, anger, or nostalgia, as these emotions drive engagement and make content memorable. For instance, videos showing exaggerated economic hardships or crime rates could sway undecided or swing voters who are already anxious about these issues. fear and safety concerns. By promoting videos about rising crime or perceived threats to community safety, platforms can amplify fear among voters, potentially influencing their voting behavior or political preferences. 6. Strategic use of short-form, easily digestible content. Bite-sized misinformation. Short-form video is especially effective for pushing simple, memorable messages that don't require deep engagement. In a 15-second clip, it's possible to suggest complex issues or weave misleading statistics without giving context, which users are less likely to question. Looping and repetition. Repeated exposure to the same short clips, especially when the algorithm serves similar videos in succession, can reinforce ideas subconsciously. Repetition is a classic technique in persuasion, and platforms can manipulate this by ensuring users see similar videos repeatedly. 7. Highlighting regional content creators with aligned views. Boosting local influencers or lookalike accounts. Platforms might boost local influencers or fake personas who appear to be homegrown voices in the targeted state. This creates the impression that the opinions presented are authentic and widely shared in the area. Creating relatable content formats. By pushing content that aligns with regional culture or humor, platforms can make viewers more likely to watch and engage. For example, a relatable format about local struggles or challenges makes the content feel more authentic and less like foreign interference. 8. Promoting authoritative content that feeds doubt. Fabricated expert opinions, videos that feature experts questioning election integrity or casting doubt on government agencies, can be extremely persuasive, especially when repeated. These can be outright fabrications or use real content selectively edited to imply certain conclusions. Misleading explanations of election processes. Videos that misrepresent how ballots are counted, where voter fraud could occur, or ways to challenge results could create widespread confusion or doubt in the electoral process. 9. Delayed or timed content surges. Strategic release windows. Foreign platforms might time content releases to coincide with key election milestones, such as debates, voting deadlines, or early voting days, so that content reaches maximum impact when voters are most engaged. Peak engagement timing. Releasing divisive or provocative content just before the election can leave little time for fact-checking or debunking, catching voters in an emotional and time-sensitive moment when they're more likely to act on impulse. 10. Localized ads and geofencing techniques. Targeted video ads. Platforms can serve ads or promoted videos to users based on their geographic location, specifically targeting users in swing states or pivotal counties. Geofenced content delivery. Platforms can use geofencing to show or prioritize certain videos for users within a specific area, ensuring only targeted voters in key regions see particular narratives, making it harder to detect the influence on a broader scale. Conclusion. By manipulating what videos are shown, when and to whom, foreign platforms can subtly shape narratives and influence voter sentiment in targeted states. This approach can have an outsized impact in crucial regions without drawing attention to the interference, making it an effective but challenging tactic to counter. The solution requires a combination of transparency from platforms, media literacy among the public, and stronger regulations on algorithmic transparency and content promotion, especially during election periods. Yes, a foreign-controlled algorithm with foreign oversight could theoretically sway a population, especially in a highly interconnected, digital-dependent society. The power of algorithms lies in their ability to shape the information people see, the topics they discuss, and even their perceptions of what is normal or popular. With control over the algorithm, a foreign entity could influence public opinion subtly, consistently, and effectively. Here's how this could unfold and why it's particularly impactful. 1. Control of information flow and exposure, content curation and suppression. The algorithm can amplify specific types of content, such as videos, news articles, or posts, that align with the foreign entity's objectives, while suppressing content that contradicts it. For example, amplifying content that creates doubt about democratic institutions or highlights divisive issues can lead to greater polarization. Framing issues and prioritizing narratives. By prioritizing content that frames issues in a particular way, a foreign-controlled algorithm can influence how people understand and perceive these issues. This could mean presenting economic hardship, security issues, or political controversies as especially pressing, subtly shifting public priorities and opinions. Number 2, emotional and psychological manipulation. Triggering emotional responses. Algorithms often prioritize content that provokes strong emotional responses, anger, fear, outrage, because these emotions drive engagement. By controlling the algorithm, foreign actors could strategically serve content that inflames these emotions on issues like immigration, crime, or economic instability, pushing people toward polarized or extreme viewpoints, reinforcing confirmation bias. A foreign-controlled algorithm could serve people content that aligns with their existing beliefs, reinforcing their biases and deepening divisions within society. This reinforcement can make people feel validated and less willing to consider opposing viewpoints, contributing to social fragmentation. Number 3, creating a filter bubble,
An echo chamber effect.
relative exposure to ideas. Algorithms create filter bubbles where people are exposed only to ideas, opinions, and information that align with their own beliefs or the desired influence goals. In a bubble curated by a foreign algorithm, people might rarely encounter balanced perspectives, making them more susceptible to one-sided or misleading narratives. Echo chambers to amplify specific narratives. In an echo chamber, like-minded people reinforce each other's views, and foreign oversight can control which ideas dominate these spaces. For example, if the algorithm feeds certain demographic groups a steady diet of content that paints one political party or policy as harmful, it can lead to widespread distrust or animosity. 4. Artificial popularity and virality, boosting specific topics. A foreign-controlled algorithm could artificially boost the visibility of specific topics, making them seem more relevant or popular than they are. This creates a perception that everyone cares about a particular issue, even if it's largely manufactured by the algorithm itself. Manufacturing trends and organic engagement. By pushing select content to the trending or recommended sections, the algorithm can create the appearance of organic engagement. For instance, if content about election fraud, national security threats, or economic instability is consistently promoted, it will appear to be a pressing, widespread concern, regardless of its factual basis. Hammer 5. Targeted manipulation of key demographics and regions. Geo-targeting and demographic profiling. Algorithms can target users based on their location, age, ethnicity, and interests. A foreign actor could use this capability to focus on swing states, specific age groups, or communities that are crucial to election outcomes. By tailoring content to resonate with these groups, the algorithm can influence key voters subtly but effectively. Localized messaging. By customizing messages for local audiences, the algorithm can make content feel personal and relevant, which increases trust and engagement. For example, highlighting economic hardships in rural areas or emphasizing social issues in urban centers makes the influence seem homegrown and harder to detect. Long-term shaping of public opinion and cultural norms. Normalizing certain ideas and attitudes. Through consistent exposure, a foreign-controlled algorithm could make certain ideas seem mainstream or widely accepted. Over time, this can shift cultural norms and public opinion on issues like nationalism, foreign relations, or societal values. Gradual erosion of trust. By consistently promoting content that questions the legitimacy of institutions, such as the government, media, or scientific bodies, a foreign algorithm can erode public trust over time. This erosion weakens social cohesion and creates a more skeptical, disengaged public that is easier to manipulate. Number 7, undermining democratic processes. Influence on election perceptions and turnout. Algorithms can sway elections by shaping how people view candidates, issues, and the voting process itself. For instance, amplifying misinformation about voter fraud or voting barriers can discourage people from voting or make them doubt the legitimacy of the election outcome. Selective promotion of certain candidates or policies. By subtly boosting positive content about one candidate or negative content about another, a foreign-controlled algorithm can create a biased view of political choices. This might sway undecided voters, shift public sentiment, or even alter the outcome in close races. 8. Difficulty in detection and accountability. Opaque algorithms. Algorithms are complex and often proprietary, meaning it's difficult for users or even regulators to understand how they work or detect manipulation. Foreign oversight makes it even harder to identify interference, as the content might seem organic or user-driven. Shaping public discourse quietly. Unlike overt interference tactics, algorithmic manipulation is subtle and invisible to most users. People are less likely to question the source of their recommended content, making it a powerful tool for influencing opinions without detection. Conclusion. A foreign-controlled algorithm with oversight designed to achieve specific influence objectives could be one of the most effective tools for swaying a population. This control allows for precision in targeting, emotion-driven engagement, and gradual shifts in public perception. Over time, it can alter public opinion, deepen polarization, and erode trust in democratic institutions, all without leaving clear evidence of manipulation. Mitigating these risks would require a combination of algorithm transparency, platform accountability, and increased public awareness of how algorithms shape their information environments. Without such protections, societies remain vulnerable to the subtle but profound influence of foreign-controlled content-serving algorithms. As of 2024, TikTok has approximately 170 million users in the United States. On average, US adult users spend about 53.8 minutes per day on the platform. Cite her. This suggests that a significant portion of American users engage with TikTok for more than 30 minutes daily. However, specific data detailing the exact number of users exceeding 30 minutes of daily usage is not readily available. As of 2024, TikTok has approximately 170 million users in the United States, accounting for about 51% of the US population. On average, US adult users spend approximately 53.8 minutes per day on the platform, cite turns search. This indicates that a significant portion of the American population engages with TikTok for nearly an hour daily. The rapid rise of TikTok's popularity in the US began around late 20 and early 2019. Here's a timeline of how its daily use surged, leading to today's widespread, nearly hour-long averaging timeline of TikTok's growth in the US. 2018, Musical.ly merger. ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, merged TikTok with Musical.ly, a popular lip-syncing app. This merger gave TikTok a foothold in the US market, where Musical.ly already had a dedicated user base, especially among teens. Early popularity. Following the merger, TikTok's user base in the US began to grow rapidly, primarily among younger audiences who were drawn to its short-form, engaging video format. 2019, viral growth. TikTok saw a sharp increase in users throughout 2019. With viral challenges, user-generated content, and algorithmic recommendations, the app quickly attracted millions of users. By the end of 2019, TikTok had around 37 million US users. Increased engagement. As users became more engaged, average daily time spent on the app increased, and the platform began to reach a broader age range. 3. Pandemic boom. The COVID-19 pandemic drove unprecedented growth as people turned to social media for entertainment during lockdowns. TikTok's user base in the US doubled and engagement skyrocketed. Average daily use? By mid-2020, TikTok's daily active users were spending upwards of 50 minutes on the app. Its engaging algorithm and content diversity attracted a wide range of users beyond its initial teen base. 4. 2021 to 2023, widespread adoption. TikTok reached over 100 million US users, solidifying its place in mainstream social media. The app's reach expanded to all age groups, and its role in shaping trends, influencing culture, and even impacting consumer behavior became more evident. Sustained engagement, daily usage times continued to rise, averaging nearly an hour a day by 2023. 5. 2024, stabilized but high usage. As of 2024, TikTok continues to average close to 53.8 minutes per day among US users. It is a daily habit for about half the US population, making it one of the most influential platforms in terms of engagement and reach. TikTok's success is largely attributed to its engaging algorithm, short-form video format, and ability to keep users within the app with an endless feed of personalized content. This high level of daily engagement has made TikTok a significant cultural and social influence in the US, with usage patterns that show no signs of slowing. Yes, TikTok is indeed a foreign-owned company, with its parent company, ByteDance, based in China. This means that the app's content recommendation algorithms, data handling practices, and overall governance are primarily under the control of a foreign entity, with minimal US government oversight. This situation has raised concerns for several reasons. America 1, algorithmic influence without US oversight. Potential for content manipulation. Without US oversight, TikTok's algorithms could, in theory, be adjusted to promote or suppress certain types of content, either by ByteDance itself or through outside influence. This could shape users' opinions, subtly pushing narratives that might align with foreign interests or dampen certain discussions. The recommendation algorithm is extremely effective at targeting content to specific demographics. In a platform with as much reach as TikTok, this ability allows for targeted influence on public opinion, especially during politically sensitive times like elections. 2. Data privacy and security risks. Collection of sensitive user data. TikTok collects extensive data on its users, including location, device information, viewing habits, and interaction patterns. Since this data is processed by a company headquartered in China, there is concern about how this information might be accessed or used under Chinese data laws. Data accessed by foreign governments. In China, companies can be required to share data with the government under national security laws. This has raised questions about whether data collected on US users could potentially be accessible to foreign governments. 3. Potential national security implications. Influence during elections or crises. A platform with a daily reach of nearly half the US population could, in theory, be leveraged to influence public sentiment on key issues. Whether intentional or not, the amplification of certain narratives could affect public opinion on political candidates, policy debates, or social issues. Foreign-controlled algorithms can promote content that may not directly promote any particular candidate, but instead foster doubt in democratic institutions, encourage polarization, or amplify social divisions, which indirectly serves certain geopolitical interests. 4. No clear accountability mechanism. Limited US regulatory leverage. Since TikTok is foreign-owned, US regulators have limited ability to oversee or audit its algorithm. Attempts to address this, such as the Trump administration's proposal to ban TikTok or require US ownership, have met with legal challenges and complex negotiations. Transparency and algorithmic black box. The algorithm that powers TikTok's content recommendations is proprietary and lacks transparency. Unlike US-based companies, TikTok's foreign ownership complicates efforts by US agencies to audit or regulate the way it serves content to users. Steps being considered and potential solutions. 1. Legislation and regulation. There have been bipartisan calls for legislation that would increase transparency and possibly place restrictions on how foreign-owned platforms operate within the US. 2. Mandated data localization. One proposed solution is requiring TikTok to store US user data on American servers under American oversight, reducing the potential for foreign access. Number 3, public awareness and media literacy. Encouraging users to be aware of how content might be tailored to influence them could help mitigate some risks, though it's not a complete solution. 4. Periodic audits. Some have proposed requiring independent, government-authorized audits of algorithms and data practices for foreign-owned platforms operating in the US. The combination of TikTok's reach, engagement, and lack of US oversight has raised valid concerns about how a foreign-controlled platform might influence American society. Solutions will likely require a mix of regulation, transparency efforts, and increased public awareness to address these concerns fully. Dear readers, as we prepare for the 2028 election, it's critical to recognise how social media platforms, especially foreign-owned ones like TikTok, are shaping public opinion in subtle but powerful ways. Today, nearly 170 million Americans, almost half the country, use TikTok daily, averaging about an hour per day on the platform. TikTok's algorithm decides what we see based on complex data-driven recommendations that are not subject to US government oversight. This matters because, in a nation where election results often hinge on razor-thin margins, even small shifts in opinion can alter outcomes in ways that benefit foreign interests. Thin margins and the power of a 1% shift. Recent elections have shown us just how impactful a small percentage of votes can be, decided by 0.3% or about 10,500 votes. Georgia won by just 0.2%, a margin of around 12,000 votes. Wisconsin 2020 decided by 0.6%, approximately 20,600 votes. In critical swing states like these, a shift of just 1 cent in voting preferences could completely change the election outcome. With platforms like TikTok influencing nearly half the US population daily, it's clear that even slight algorithmic adjustments like prioritizing certain types of content could sway public opinion in meaningful ways. How foreign influence plays out on social media. 1. Algorithmic targeting. TikTok's algorithm is highly personalized, meaning it's tailored to individual users' interests, beliefs, and behaviors. This allows for pinpoint targeting, meaning a foreign-controlled platform could easily reach specific groups in key states. In a battleground state like Pennsylvania or Georgia, where the outcome could decide the election, this tailored approach might reach just enough people to tip the scales. 2. Amplifying emotional content. Studies show that content triggering strong emotions, particularly anger and fear, gets the most engagement. Foreign actors are known to exploit this by promoting divisive issues, like economic worries, public safety fears, or political distrust, making users feel anxious or distrustful of the government, other citizens, or the democratic process itself. This isn't about directly telling people how to vote, it's about creating doubt and tension. 3. Echo chambers and reinforced biases. TikTok's recommendation algorithm can create echo chambers, where users see only content that aligns with their beliefs. By reinforcing certain perspectives and suppressing others, the algorithm can gradually push users toward more extreme views, reducing their willingness to consider other perspectives. For instance, someone with mild concerns about government could be fed a steady stream of content questioning democracy itself, deepening their distrust. The hidden influence of algorithms. One of the most effective tactics in foreign influence is its subtlety. Today's influence campaigns aren't about loud propaganda. They're about nudging people's opinions in small, almost invisible ways. This means that users often don't realize they're being influenced. The recommended content feels natural, making it harder to question the source or intent behind it. Why this matters to young people and voters. Our democracy relies on informed and independent decision-making. Yet, without oversight, foreign-owned platforms could use their algorithms to amplify content that aligns with their interests. And in elections decided by slim margins, even a 1% influence can make a difference. This is a wake-up call for all of us, whether we're first-time voters, seasoned citizens, or lifelong newsreaders, to understand how these platforms can affect our views and our votes. Moving forward, what we can do. 1. Understand algorithmic influence. Recognize that what we see on social media is not neutral. Algorithms prioritize content for engagement, not accuracy or fairness. 2. Engage in media literacy. Question the source of information, especially if it's content that seems designed to stir emotions. Critical thinking is our first line of defense. 3. Advocate for oversight. Support efforts for greater transparency in social media algorithms. If platforms shape public opinion, it's in our national interest to know how and why. In 2028, our voices are as important as ever, and we can't afford to let unseen algorithms choose for us. Let's stay informed, question what we see, and remember that our choices at the polls are truly our own. Sincerely, 10th grade school's name.